kind of more of a walk in the park than the other games against XERXIA. So I just want to know where it kind of matched up competitively, where you rank it and maybe what you feel was like the toughest battle you had with them in the previous matches as well.
I'll take this one. They're a team that's very hard for us to read, so they forced us to play very slow. So I would say, honestly, preparation-wise, it's extremely hard to prepare for that team. They do a good job at just making us not knowing what they're doing, and they manipulate rotates similar to crew, that mainly on Ascent for crew. I would say it's probably one of the toughest games that we played. Pretty hard to understand what's happening until it actually happens, and their execs are pretty strong.
This question's for Victor. You had a huge game in terms of first kill on Neon. What was enabling you to get aggressive and get those first kills?
As Neon, I rely heavily on my teammates to create space for me. It sounds weird, but yeah. We use KO on Breach on some maps, and pretty much their util just allows me to just run in because I know they can't kill me because we're using utility on these spots. So yeah.
This is for crashies, but really anybody can answer. I was wondering if there was any favorite taunts or things that you guys shouted out today during today's match.
I didn't really say anything too crazy to them. I think my favorite was when FNS called we were rushing C and yelled it at them, and we rushed C. That was probably my favorite, to be honest.
Hey guys, anyone can answer this question really. You guys will face the Guard next in playoffs, so it'll sort of be a rematch from Challengers Finals. Is there anything that you guys are looking to do different in that matchup against them?
This time versus the Guard, I think they're going to probably change a lot of their comps, and if they don't, then it'll be a little bit easier for us, but I'm assuming they're going to have to gimmick us a little bit to win that match, because I think we just have more stage experience than them. When it comes down to it, we're just going to have to play our game and just hope it works better that day.
My question is for Victor. You were phenomenal on the Neon today, and not many teams going into the playoffs run Neon. So do you see this as an advantage going forward into the playoffs?
We utilize Neon really well. I don't think she's an agent when you look at her individually. She's not oh my god, she's so much better than Raze, or oh my god, she's so much better than Jet. So I don't think there's not really an advantage.
This question is for Ye. VCT Masters, where you have a format, some teams are directly in the playoffs, and you guys have come through the group stage. Do you think coming through the group stage gives you an advantage into the playoffs?
It's hard to say, to be honest with you. I think on one hand, you get a lot of experience playing on the stage, and you also get to warm up and test a lot of your stuff out early on. But at the same time, the other team has the advantage in the sense of they have a lot more prep time, and they can, anti you or watch your games, or they could keep building on what they're doing. So I don't know. It's kind of a wash, to be honest with you. I do feel there is some advantage, I think, for our team, because usually we kind of start slow. So for us to get that out of the way now, so we can keep building and riding the momentum, I think it is an advantage for us personally.
Do you all consider yourselves to be a momentum-based team? And if so, what do you do during rounds or timeouts to try and continue that momentum? And if you don't consider yourself a momentum-based team, what kind of attitude do you go in to when you have a streak going?
I'd probably say we're a pretty momentum-based team, but I think this is just that kind of game where if you're riding momentum, a lot of the times you have good reads on what they're going to do the next round after that. So I think every team to some degree is a momentum-based team. For us, I think even when we're down and we don't have momentum and we take timeouts, a lot of the times we also make correct decisions. A lot of it just comes down to people not trying to be heroes, people not trying to do their own thing, and kind of just using the utility we have. Like you saw today, that if we do those things, then we are usually pretty hard to beat.
I think yesterday somebody on Twitter had posted the match brackets. They said that it gives an unfair advantage to the teams in the playoffs, so that they can watch and anti-strat you. So do you think this is right, or would you request for a change in format going into the future?
I don't think any team should just make playoffs. I think even if we won the final versus the Guard online, I still would be saying that that's a ridiculous thing that any team can just make the playoffs, going right from online play right into playoffs and not having to play group stages. I think every team should have to play group stages and earn their spot in playoffs, but that's not the fault of the teams or anything. I just think it's a terrible format in that sense. They should not do that. Was it unfair? I mean, I guess kind of. I think it's ridiculous, yes.
Obviously, you're playing the Guards so early on in the playoffs as well. Do you think there should be some extra seeding so that these same region matchups don't happen so early on?
I would definitely say so. I mean, the first time we were in Berlin, we also played the two other NA teams that were there. We played Sentinels and 100 Thieves. Somehow we keep playing the NA teams. So yeah, for the future, I would definitely not like to play the NA teams and play the other regions for sure.
Voting that's been happening through the broadcast about MVP, I'd be curious, to hear if there is a particular player that really shined during this match from your guys' perspective that you would be comfortable saying MVP. I mean, obviously, you guys are probably going to say it's a team effort, but I was curious if anyone wanted to shout out a particular player saying they really shined, they really did a lot during this match.
I'd like to say FNS. I know I got the most kills, but he makes my job so easy for me. I literally ask him, Pujan, where do I go? And I kill.
Thanks, man. I'd say Victor.
I'd say
He just got a lot of kills.
I'd say Victor as well. Yeah, it's pretty hard as a Neon
Victor,
to.
FNS, both of them.
Yeah,
For sure, Victor for me, just because he dominated on Neon on both maps. It's kind of easy to gas out after you have a good first map and go into the second map not with that much gas, just shitting on them. So good for him.